we're good.
Okay, call the meeting in order, please. Roll call.
White,
Yes.
Wickman,
Yes.
Herder,
Yes.
and Pierce.
Yes.
The record show that Jenna Rue is absent.
Okay, you've had a chance to go over the minutes, if there's any additions or corrections, and if not. Pardon? Yeah, the minutes. For the minutes. Rue,
So I just make a small change, Matt's got it.
okay. What's the,
It's just that, it has your name as vice chairman, and I just didn't want that in there, so we'll take the vice out.
okay. Chicken. Okay, that correction's been made then? Is that a correction?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion approved.
Second.
Been moved and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Okay, before we open public hearing, I'll read a statement. The public hearing will be conducted pursuant to the board or rules of procedures as adopted May 26, 1988. We will first hear the report of the planning director on detailed information and observations regarding the request, if not done so in written form prior to the hearing. Next, we will take the testimony of the applicant and his or her witnesses. Upon completion of the applicant's testimony, I will call upon the members of the audience wishing to make a statement concerning the request. Persons in favor of the request shall be heard first, followed by those opposed to it. At any time during the presentation of testimony, the members of the board may interrupt to ask questions or to make comments on what has been said. Upon completion of all testimony, the applicant will be allowed to make a closing statement to the board. Upon completion of the applicant's closing statement, we will then hear the recommendations, if any, of the planning director, and upon completion of all discussions, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing on the request. After the public hearing has been closed, I will entertain a motion from the members of the board regarding the disposition of the application. Each speaker addressing the board shall step forward to the podium, state their name and address before proceeding with the testimony of the evidence. I would ask that you would spell your last name. This board shall not be bound by strict rules of evidence, but does reserve the right to exclude evidence or testimony that it may be deemed to be irrelevant, immaterial, incompetent, or unduly repetitious. As chairman, I will rule on all questions related to the admissibility of evidence, which may be overruled by a majority of the board. The board may grant continuance in case of good cause shown to any interested party who has entered its appearance. The board may at any time request a continuance of a hearing for the purpose of giving further notice, taking further evidence, gathering further information, touring the proposed site, or for such other reasons as the board may find sufficient. In such case, we shall state the specific reasons and continuance and set a date, time, and place when the matter will be continued. All official action of this board will be made by public hearing by motion made, seconded of the polling of a membership. If conditions are imposed, such conditions shall be included in the motion or amendment thereto. Our final decision will be prepared in writing and will be part of the public record of this board. Once this board has reached a decision on a case, that decision shall be final. Section 335.18 of the Code of Iowa states, any person or persons jointly or severely aggravated by any decision of the Board of Adjustments under the provisions of Chapter 335, or any taxpayer or any officer, department, board, or bureau of the county may present to a court a record of petition duly verified setting forth that such decision was illegal, in whole or in part specifying the grounds of illegality. Such petition shall be presented to the court within 30 days after the filing of the decision of the office of the board. Upon hearing that, I would ask for a motion to open case CU 2015-05, Corby L. Fleischer. Close?
That's good, yeah.
Okay. I ask for a motion to open public hearing.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Corby or somebody representing them would like to step forward and present your case.
Yeah.
John Jorgensen with HGM Associates, 645th Avenue, Council Bluffs here, Jorgensen. I'm working with Corby, the civil engineer, office right over here. A couple of three different items that he's looking at, a couple of different locations for a tubing hill that are shown here and here in the circles. And then also with this option, we'd actually relocate the existing parking lot down further south as shown. There's still some question on which location he's leaning towards or would actually pursue. The third issue is regrading this ski hill here, I don't know, I guess I should have started with if people are familiar with the area, and obviously you can kind of see where the snow is on these two existing hills. As you can tell, this hill is relatively straight graded. There's a flat spot up top here. They're looking at regrading that entire thing, so it's more of a consistent grade of about 14 or 15%.
What is it right now?
Well, up through where the trees are at, it's probably twice that, maybe 25, 4 to 1. So they get off the ski lift, they come here, they can't get, because it's real flat, they can't get going, and then once they get here, they really take off. And so that's kind of the fun part, but yeah, it would be better to have it like this one where it is more of a consistent slope. Water detention area there, they use that to make the snow during the winter time, and we'd use that probably to, if we regraded this, we'd direct the runoff into that and then just dredge it out. I think it was shown on the plans. Put silt fence around the perimeter, some wattles every 50 feet along the runs there. We've got the DNR permit. Received that a couple weeks ago.
So you're gonna grade then just the marked part to slope that more,
Correct.
not
And-
where the tubing is gonna be?
Well, potentially grade one of the tubing areas as well. And again, I think it's up to Corby on the.
The one that's to the
But do we
south.
need to know that before we,
The application says that if they're gonna regrade a ski hill and grade 2 tubing hills.
It's for the whole area.
okay, so it doesn't make any difference, okay. Well, I just wondered when you said there was a third potential, I didn't.
And then I guess the other thing is that all the dirt will balance on site. That there wouldn't be dirt going in or out. It would balance.
This is something that we're gonna get this fall,
Potentially.
before the season starts.
We're working on it.
Well, Corby, why don't you go ahead and give your name there?
Okay, thanks. Corby Fleischer, Fleischer.
We just got it, thank you.
The tubing hill, there's already existing tubing hill here as it is, but it is, when they made it the first time, they put a big turn into it, and it just doesn't work with the turn, it needs to be straight. So we're looking just to straighten that out and with the dirt, so it's more of a straight shot instead of Indy 500 turn. And so we're regrading this area, and as John was saying, up here is a flat spot, it just needs to be graded because it's not good for the guests. They graded it a long time ago, just they didn't do a good job putting enough pitch on it to have the guests go down. And then on this tubing hill here, we had another tubing hill. Our plans are, it's gonna be so busy out there, we don't want it to happen like you're going to Disneyland, standing in line for an hour and a half to let the people in enjoy themselves and have a good time. So we had 2 separate tubing hills. One for if we start having big groups, there's a plan to have really, nice groups come out, corporations, and then one for the general public come out as well, or vice versa, which one would be for the public. And
I know that the one to the south is pretty steep right now.
this one here,
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing it like the old trail that used to be to the south,
yeah, this year it's,
it's a very narrow, kind of narrow trail and pretty steep.
Yeah, up through the trees.
And yeah, there's trees pretty close together. Are you gonna be taking out a lot of trees or?
well, it's not that many, it's kind of right through, well, pretty much through half of this trees right here, this section right there. There's some objects here, well, that was my RV and a boat, so those aren't there no more. But anyway, it'll be right there. And if it was, if it was up to Hitchcock, they'd like to take all these trees out, because they're all those cedar trees, which they don't like, so it's most of those trees that are coming out, they'll be all cedars anyway.
It's pretty, I know people, it's been fairly steep that people can get hurt because they don't have enough length to slow down on some of those.
That's why it's coming all the way across the parking lot. So it stops, you can see where it stops, the grade right about here. When the grade comes down, it'll be a pitch and it'll get flat, and then it'll start slowly going back up the hill at a little percent grade.
That would help.
Yeah, so that's what it's gonna be. And I traveled the ones in the Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan this last winter, and we're just looking at different designs and trying to find the ones that are the best one out there. I didn't wanna build something that was, not that nice. And so we went through quite a few and found the pros and the cons, ones they built. And obviously the one that was built, when they first did it, was the con was the turn. The other ones are not enough runout space, that's why they're having it run all the way across the parking lot instead of having it run, stopping there, going all the way across the parking lot.
So how will they get up to that one?
This year, there's an existing lift, which will be
Yeah.
redesigned, and on this one, there is a lift, you can put in right here. It's called they call it a magic carpet ride, it's a conveyor belt.
So they're just gonna pull them up?
Yeah, they pull up and they stand on it and it takes you right up there.
Okay.
And or the existing ones right there, just one that's cost effective, one's double the price from the other one. Just trying to figure out which, budget-wise, which way it falls in.
Does this require an erosion control plan from the West Potawatomi Soil Conservation District?
No, that's why you went through the engineer, he has an engineer plan.
Okay.
Oh, that's what I was wondering too, is, okay. So the engineer plan takes care of that?
Yes.
Do you anticipate much more water coming down the hill on the neighbors, like
No, 'cause
Steve and Gina, right next down, they have a lake, just this water that came down from this, and every time your ski hills drain, melts, they get a kind of a lake.
yeah, that was, it's the same, we already make snow on there as well. So there's still the same amount of snow being made either way. Actually, it might be less because won't be making any snow from this section right here. So it might be actually less snow being produced than we have. Because there's always snow made from here, it's not showing on here, when this map was done, might be, usually there's snow in the here. But,
Well, the grade would be reduced and go further, so maybe it would go more back on you than on them.
yeah, well, they have, Steve and Gina have that, was designed a long time ago to facilitate all the water rain runoff and drainage.
Anything else? Okay, thank you much.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else want to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak opposed? Matt, will you have to share?
Staff recommendation is to approve the application, subject to the following conditions: that the applicant shall fully execute the erosion control plan upon starting construction of the said improvements. Based on the following findings of fact, the subject property is located in a Class C3 Commercial Recreational District. The zoning ordinance adopted in conjunction with the land use plan stipulates that grading and excavating and development exceeds 5,000 square feet on a site containing 14 to 30% slopes, or when the development exceeds 1,000 square feet on a site containing 30 to 50% slopes not associated with a major or minor subdivision plat, subject to the provisions of section 8.004.210, is a permitted conditional use in the C3 district. Number 2, implementation of the erosion control plan will minimize soil erosion issues. 3, the only time that the road system would be impacted by this activity is that the conditional use of the activity of this conditional use permit is during the moving of equipment to and from the site. No soil is being excavated to leave the site or added to the site. The moving of equipment to and from the site should not have any negative impact on the existing county road. The intent of the soil erosion control plan is to minimize the negative impacts on adjacent properties.
On hearing that, I would ask for a motion to close public hearing.
I move to close the hearing.
Second.
Been moved and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Discussion. Any discussion? Question? If not, I'd entertain a motion one way or the other.
I'll move to approve the application based on the staff recommendation findings of fact.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and second, roll call, please, Matt.
White,
Yes.
Wickman,
Yes.
Herder,
Abstain.
and Pierce.
Yes.
You've got your permit.
Thank you.
Okay. Ask for public open public hearing on CU 2015-06, Utah Land Company LLC. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Okay, Utah Land Company. Jason, you wanna?
My name's Jason Hill, Hill, 109 Firethorn Drive, Trainer, Iowa. What I'd like to propose is single-family dwelling construction site. I'm purchasing this land from Utah Land Company, so it's 2.9 acres. And I'd like to build a house on it. All I want to disturb here is, it's less than an acre, it's 30,000 square feet. Basically what is outlined in the green. I had Carl Rogers out here, Rogers Surveying, to evaluate the grades, so I could tell if it is indeed over 14%. And there's a sliver of it that ran through where I wanted to disturb soil that was 14 to 15% grades. So proceeded to try and apply for a conditional use permit so I could put the house right here. Came into the office and Matt had suggested that I go through an engineering firm, which I did. I went through Earhart Griffin. To help me develop an erosion plan and stormwater prevention plan. And I have that, and the improvements would be shaping for the yard, just making it more usable, flattening out the front yard a little bit, not removing any soil or adding any soil to the disturbed portion. I don't intend to disturb any existing drainage paths. I'm also going to silt fence around the downhill slopes of the disturbed soil based on what the engineering firm proposed, and also use erosion control matting in the high slope areas. I don't intend to disrupt the terrace that's in place. I do have to put a entrance in, which I've already been in touch with the county on an entrance permit and a tube and stuff, so. It's under an acre, so what I've done is developed a stormwater prevention plan based on the EPA's template, even though I'm not disturbing over an acre, so it's not required that I have that permit. But I'm going to be using signage for the construction site that erosion control is in place, similar to this right here. Inspection reports, so I can inspect the erosion mitigation, the matting and the silt fencing, and anywhere where I disturb soil, just to make sure nothing, no sediment is getting past any of the control points. So that's basically it. Just want to build a house.
Install the erosion
Yes.
fence and that kind of stuff, Jason?
Yes.
What, do you have an approved soil erosion plan from Earhart Griffin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
They drew it up for me,
okay.
and it's right here.
We didn't get that, did we?
Yeah, you should be. Is that the direction we're going now, Matt, is instead of the
This is-
NRCS, we're going with the engineering
Yes, we've been kind of forced into that position. We had several of these conditional uses backing up on us because we were referring people to go to the NRCS,
I
get their.
don't think it's a bad thing, but I
Yeah.
just wonder if that's what we're,
But
okay.
the NRCS has lost some staffing there, and so they know, talking with Dale Duval, he told me that he was fine with he would rather them come to him as more of a reference educational piece. But he said as far as taking those plans and running them through the approval process,
Go through the,
that they didn't have the time and staffing to do that anymore. So we've been referring everybody to go do that. And then
well, I
we
know there for, ever since I've been on it, we went to the NRCS and now.
We have Maria Seek at our office as well, and some of these even smaller ones, we've just been having her help people with, and then approving them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I think it's probably a good thing.
We can monitor them that way
Yeah.
ourselves
Right.
and make sure that things are actually getting done.
Right, yeah, okay. Any other questions? If not, thank you much. Anyone else want to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak opposed? If not, I'd ask for Matt's recommendation of staff.
Our recommendation is to approve the application based on the subject following the conditions. The applicant shall fully execute the erosion control plan upon starting construction of the said improvements. Based on the following findings of fact, the subject property is located in the R1 Urban Transitional District. The zoning ordinance adopted in conjunction with the land use plan stipulates that grading and excavating when development exceeds 5,000 square feet on a site containing 14 to 30% slopes and or when development exceeds 1,000 square feet on a site containing 30 to 50% slopes when not associated with a major or minor subdivision plat subject to the provisions of section 8.004.210 is a permitted conditional use in the R1 district. Number two, the implementation of the erosion control plan will minimize soil erosion issues. Three, the only time the road system may be impacted by the activity of this conditional use permit is during development of the site. The development of the site is for a single-family dwelling and should not have any negative impact on the existing road. And lastly, the intent of the soil erosion control plan is to minimize the negative impacts on the adjacent and area properties.
Okay, thank you. On hearing that, I'd ask for a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Any discussion, questions? If not, I would ask for a motion to either approve or disapprove.
I move that we approve it based on the staff recommendations.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, roll call vote, please, Matt?
White,
Yes,
Wickman,
Yes.
Herder,
Yes.
Pierce.
Yes.
it has been granted.
Thank you.
Is it any other business for us tonight, Matt?
No other business
Do
tonight.
we have anything going for next month?
We have two of them going for next month. We have one grading and then one for a church. I don't have any better terms to put it. It's not exactly a church, but it's a religious healing center that they want to have gatherings in out on Pioneer Trail.
On hearing that, I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Then moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried, we are adjourned.
Are we up now? Matt?